And I'm really excited today to have Martin Jones with us, who's the founder of holographic breathing technique. And he's going to tell us all about what that is, and then also guide us through a demonstration you're going to learn the holographic breathing technique today and also get an experience in it. So I'm really very excited to have him here. Welcome, Martin.
Hi, Holly.
Hi, and you, Martin, has a really wonderful background in healing modalities with Tai Chi and Qigong and cranial sacral for over 40 years. And then about 20 years ago, he developed this holographic breathing technique, and I'll let him describe how it came to him and the technique itself. But I had a chance to experience it myself about a week ago, and it was very powerful.
So do you want me to tell you a bit how holographic breathing came about?
Yes, exactly the question I was going to ask.
I'd been teaching Tai Chi and cranial sacral therapy and healing for a long time, and I was really quite healthy and fairly successful, and everything was going well. And round about the end of the 90s, I got bitten by a tick in India, and unknowingly I got Lyme's disease. And over the next 7 years from that, I progressively got sicker and sicker until I was pretty well bedridden. And I was quite ready to throw in the towel because I'd just been so ill. And I knew, or I didn't know, but I just felt like I couldn't beat the disease. It was going to take me. So I lay down one night and I just made a little prayer and said I didn't actually want to die, but I let the illness take me. I just thought, I'm just going to let the illness take me so I can see what it is. And the tiredness changed to an experience of death, and it was like going through the waves of death, and that carried on for about an hour. And when I came out the other side, it was as if I died, and there were some light beings there, these large big beings, just very quiet and very wise. And I'm not sure if it was from that experience, but about a month later, the holographic breathing came through. I'd been doing a lot of breathing, working with the maxilla area, breathing in and out from here, because I was told that I needed orthodontics. And I was doing that, and there was a lot of energy moving around my brain. And I was just doing it softer and softer. And at a certain point, there was this just overwhelming explosion of energy just through my brain, through my face, and it came through the teeth and down into the jaw. And that energy coming through the teeth and moving into the jaw opened a cellular memory. It wasn't like I tried to do something opened, a memory opened, and the lips got pulled together, the tongue got pulled onto the roof of the mouth. On the in-breath, the jaw was gently opening, and on the out-breath, the jaw was gently closing. It was as if I'd always known how to do it, and this wave of energy started moving through my face, through my brain, through my body. And it was just everything started breathing in and out, and especially through the cranium and brain, this all started breathing, and it felt wonderful. And I no longer had to try and breathe into the maxilla to try and get this to open and close. It was automatically breathing with what I now call holographic breathing. And the Lyme's disease was attacking my brain and the neural system, and that was going down, and my endocrine system was going down, and I was just getting iller and iller and iller. And with this breathing, because the face and brain were breathing and I could access the brain, it gave me a way of coming back from the Lyme's disease. And it felt like rather than me dying and going away and then coming back or somewhere else and starting a new life, it felt like I started a new life without actually having to leave. Everything kind of changed, and quite quickly. I had stopped teaching Tai Chi because I was in too much pain. I was doing a bit of healing, but everything changed. I couldn't stop doing the holographic breathing. It just became my breath. As soon as it started, it didn't stop unless I was talking or reading. I was breathing in this fashion. It was opening through my body. It gave me a way of healing the Lyme's disease. And I no longer needed to go for sessions. I was having lots of sessions before, but I found that using this, it was kind of sating me and benefiting me, and I could work with my own spine and everything I needed. And gradually the Lyme's disease got better. And from that point, I just started teaching holographic breathing. And when I did healing, it wasn't the healing I was doing before. It was coming from the channels that had opened up the holographic breathing. And with holographic breathing, and I'll be teaching this tonight, I'll be teaching the holographic breathing, and then I'll be teaching the different modes or some of the different qualities of energy that come through with it. And I found I could use those to heal myself, and I just started teaching that, really. And I can't say I've become rich or well known from it, but I have just done that for the last 20 years, and it's been a gift, really, because I think I would have died otherwise. And it's opened up in many areas. In birth, it can be used in birth, in healing. Incredibly similar. The bones, how the bones and the movement of the breath when you start doing holographic breathing, almost exactly the same as is shown in cranial sacral therapy. The modes of energy are very similar to a Tibetan pulsing healing that I used to learn, and how it relates to the different vertebrae, how it relates to the different organs, and the specific energies that release from it were very similar. So it gave me an internal way, like an internal medicine that I could do for myself. And it's grown a lot since the last couple of years, where I've just been teaching webinars, because it means it can spread around the globe, really. So that is how it started, and I'm going to teach you how to do holographic breathing, and then we're going to work through the different structures of the face and see how that's reflected in the body to open up some of those energies that I talked about. So I just turned my sound up so you can hear me. I turned my speakers down because there was some feedback, but so you can speak now, Holly.
Yeah. Yeah, great. No, it was my fault. I was looking on my iPad because I was going to see if there were any questions, and then I could hear the recording, so it was my fault. Question for you: so this was about a month later that the information came to you? Yes.
It was a couple of that death-like experience or opening happened. Then through my whole life, and ever since I started spirituality, I had this Kundalini thing where I'd get these rushes of energy through my brain and spine. Mm-hmm. And when it gets strong, it's a bit like psychedelic drugs or something. And after that death-like experience, I had a Kundalini opening, which they would normally last a couple of days, but that just carried on for a couple of months, and just like you're going to go mad or something. But it's incredibly enlightening and amazing. But on the other hand, it's a bit like you're losing the plot as well. So it's a bit of both. It's a bit scary, but it's very awakening. And I was coming down from that, and at the same time I've been diagnosed with the Lyme's disease, and at the same time I've been to see this dentist, said, oh, you've got to sort all this out. So I was doing the breathing like that, and it all fitted together in that one meditation, and it actualized. And the energy in the brain, it's like the higher energies, and it drops down through the face. This is the earth, so it's like lightning, and it was grounding into the earth, and then that gave it a physical form of the holographic breathing, really. So
So
yeah, it was a
yeah. Did you, when it came, I mean, it almost sounds like it was channeled through you, this information.
oh yeah. I'm going to teach that as well. We'll work through the energies. There's 6 types of energy I'm going to teach, but there's a 7th, which is people's connection to the higher energies. I am a channel, and holographic breathing is channel, and when I'm teaching it, I can feel terrible, because you know, you can get over Lyme's disease, but very hard to get your immune system properly working. So often I'm quite tired and I can feel terrible, and I start teaching and this light comes down. I just feel great. It's really good fun, and then afterwards I feel terrible again.
All right, so we'll give you some channeled healing energy today.
Yeah. So
did
we'll be
you, when
doing
it
that.
came through you, I'm assuming since it was channeled and you're used to being in this space, there was no doubt or question about what it was. Did you kind of immediately recognize the power of this technique that was coming through you? What was your experience?
I just the physical sense and the power. It wasn't just a spiritual power, it was a physical power. As it released from my brain and traveled through my face, and particularly because it has to gap between the upper jaw and the lower jaw, and it gapped between the teeth, and it felt like the teeth were actually coming out of their sockets as it came through from the upper jaw into the lower jaw. And it was like lightning, and the jaw was the earth, and the earth is physical, and then there was the physical movement of it. And I just watched this thing happen. I thought, Jesus Christ, that. And I could just feel my whole face starting to breathe. I was saying, wow, that. And I thought, this feels amazing. And then I could feel all, you know, because you go for sessions to have cranial sacral therapy so that you can feel this thing, but to feel all the bones opening and closing, all the bones of the cranium, and the spine starting to align, and the kundalini working up and down the spine just by breathing. You know, I taught, always channeled in Tai Chi, and always taught breathing with the Tai Chi and the Qi Kung, so always breathing Qi Kung. So I was founded in breathing, but to feel the potency of it, and something that was so, had such a connection to the body, not just the breath and the lungs and the abdomen, but into every cell and into the arms and legs, and was so palpable. To me, it was like, what have I found? And I spent a good, you know, I think, well, someone must be doing this. It's so simple. And I'd explain it, and people say, oh yeah, we do that. And then I'd teach them to say, oh no one's done that before. And for the first year or two, I was expecting some secret cult to come up and say, no, we've already done that, mate. But not so. And lots of people say, oh yeah, we've done that. And people think, I think a lot of people think it's holotropic breathing because the name is so similar, but it's the opposite end of the spectrum. And you know, I would wake up, the reason I knew it was natural and was of spirit as well as earth was because I would wake up in my sleep, and I was doing the holographic breathing in my sleep, and the beings were teaching me while I was asleep, because while I was awake I was just too stubborn, you know, to listen. I'll try to do it my own way, but I think they had better access to me when I was actually asleep.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, I'll bet we've whet everybody's curiosity here now sufficiently. So maybe we launch into teaching, giving a lesson in this technique.
all right. Well, I'm gonna, even though it sounds simple, you know, have the lips together, have the tongue on the roof of the mouth, open the jaw on the in-breath and close it on the out-breath. It's very hard just to start that. So we're going to go through a list of exercises which will start it automatically, and I'll add all the different intricacies to that. And then after that, people have a chance to ask questions, and we'll just see how that goes. And then we'll take it into more depth, where we will work through the bones of the face, through the brain, through the cranium, the different levels, and connect to people, be able to connect to their own channel, their own connection to the earth.
And I will try, people who are on, I will try to log in again, and so that if you have questions, I can answer, I can, you know, put them through to Martin. So
Brilliant, brilliant,
yeah,
brilliant.
I will try to, so we'll try to, I'll monitor that when we're done with the teaching part and see if there are any questions. So, okay.
Right, so in holographic breathing, the lips are closed, the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, the breath is through the nose. And then on the in-breath, very small, opening the jaw on the in-breath, closing it on the out-breath. Now, I described that to start off with, but one of the main things that goes wrong with this is that people listen to that, and when we start the breathing and people start moving the jaw, they think, oh, I must have heard it wrong, or Martin said it wrong. I can't open and close the jaw and have the lips closed and the tongue on the roof of the mouth. But it's the jaw is moving, the lips are closed, and the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. A bit like when you're chewing. You can eat food and chew, and the jaw can move and the lips can be closed. I'm going to demonstrate it just for a few breaths so that you can see how subtle, because it's not a big motion, the jaw is very small motion of the jaw, and it becomes more subtle the more you do it. So I'm just going to demonstrate it a little bit before we start. You may not even be able to see the jaw moving. And very quickly it takes you into like a meditative and shamanistic type space very, very quickly. And it is very, very relaxing. So when you learn a holographic breathing, you can do it while you're lying down, sitting down, walking, however and wherever you want to do it. But learning it, it's good to be sitting up, and it's good to be paying attention, because there's a sequence to things, and it's important to get the different bits right. Once you've got it, it's like riding a bike, and then fine, you can go to sleep while you're doing it or miss bits. But the initial learning of it, to properly learn it, is really good to be sitting and paying attention, because it's easy to miss a bit and then not be actually doing the breathing correctly. Then the journeys don't work properly. So okay, so shall I start teaching? Yeah,
Go ahead.
right.
And just to recap, the main technique is if you breathe in on the in breath, you have the tongue on the roof of the mouth, your lips are closed, and then you open the jaw slightly, a few millimeters really,
Yeah.
And then you close the mouth. The tongue always stays on the roof of your mouth. You
Yeah.
you breathe out and close the jaw.
Yeah. Well, it's at the same time. You start off as a basis with the lips closed, the flat of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. The breath is through the nose. Then with all of that in place, as you breathe in, the jaw is gently opening. As you breathe out, the jaw is gently closing. So it's not you open the jaw and then breathe in and close the jaw and breathe out. It's with the breath. As the breath is coming in, the jaw gently opens with it. As the breath is coming out, the jaw gently closes with that.
Okay.
And I'll teach it the other way around to start off with. We'll start with the movement of the jaw and that bringing in and out the breath, but after a while we'll change it round so the focus is on the breath.
Excellent.
But I'll go through that as we're teaching it, so you don't have to remember that. I'll be bringing your awareness to all of those bits as we do it. So, all right, so everyone closing your eyes and just gently breathing. And we're going to let everyone bring in their own resources. So gently breathing, sending a smile, sending some energy to the earth, and allow the earth to say hello back. Allow yourself to receive from the earth and notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies. And then sending a smile, sending some energy to the higher self and the beneficial energies, and allowing the higher self and the beneficial energies to say hello back. Allow yourself to receive from the higher self and the beneficial energies, and notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies, and asking the earth, the higher self and the beneficial energies to be with you through this whole meditation or meditations as your guide, as your resource, as your healing. And just gently breathing, having the lips relaxed and closed. So there's a gentle seal with the lips. So the lips will stay closed all of the time and the breath is through the nose. And then bringing the tongue to the roof of the mouth. It's the flat of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And to start off with, as much as feels comfortable. So maybe half an inch, maybe an inch, maybe the whole tongue is covering the whole roof of the mouth. Whatever feels comfortable. Don't force anything. The tip of the tongue is close to or touching the front teeth. And just, some people may feel that strange, other people just be used to it, but just spend a bit of time breathing through your nose, having your lips relaxed and closed, having your tongue relaxed and on the roof of the mouth. The roof of the mouth and the tongue, this is like a gateway. The energies come back and forth between the lower face and the upper face through the roof of the mouth and the tongue. So this acts as an energy connection, but it's also an important physical aspect of holographic breathing and the whole dynamics that open in holographic breathing. So the breath is through the nose all of the time. The lips are closed all of the time. The tongue is on the roof all of the time. And now, just keeping that so, keeping the tongue on the roof of the mouth and the lips closed, just start opening and closing the jaw as if chewing, just very gently opening and closing the jaw, just 2 or 3 millimeters, not forcefully, relaxed. And then slow that down, and as the jaw is opening, allow the breath to come in through the nose. And as the jaw is closing, allow the breath to leave through the nose. It may feel like a little bellow as the jaw is gently opening, draws the breath in through the nose. As the jaw is gently closing, it exhales the breath through the nose. It's like a little machine. If the lips stay relaxed and closed and the tongue stays on the roof of the mouth, this acts like a little mechanism. As the jaw relaxes open, the breath naturally comes in through the nose. As the jaw relaxes closed, the breath comes out through the nose, relaxing the back of your neck, relaxing the back of your head, and just becoming used to that. The jaw relaxes open, and notice the lips and tongue can stay in their place. The jaw relaxes closed and the breath comes out. Now we're going to change the whole gestalt. Rather than first becoming aware of the jaw, become aware of the breath. As the breath is coming in through the nose, the jaw relaxes open. As the breath comes out through the nose, the jaw relaxes closed. So it's as if the breath is moving the jaw. Breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the jaw relaxes closed. The lips are closed all of the time. The tongue is on the roof of the mouth all of the time. Notice how much more relaxed everything becomes once the attention is on the breath and the jaw follows. And there's this feeling as if you're not doing it at all, it's just happening, and that you've always known how to do this, and it's always been part of you. Breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, it relaxes closed, small motion. As the teeth separate, or as you're breathing in, the teeth separate. As you're breathing out, they gently come back together, but there's no pressure. They just gently float together, or they just stay very slightly apart. So at no point does the jaw become fixed. It becomes part of the breath. So you're breathing in, the jaw floats open. As you breathe out, the jaw floats back together and either just gently touches or doesn't touch at all. Relax the back of the neck. Relax the back of your head. As your chest is opening, you're breathing in, the chest is opening, the jaw opens with it. As you breathe out, the chest is closing, the jaw closes with it. It's integrated into all the parts of your body. This is not a technique. This is part of you. This is a breathing we are designed to do. As the chest opens, the jaw naturally opens with it. As the chest closes, the jaw naturally closes with it. You may start feeling deep energies starting to move in your body. You may feel relaxation starting to happen. Just allow that. As you breathe in, the abdomen is opening, the jaw follows, it opens. As you breathe out, the jaw relaxes, closed. All of the time, the tongue is relaxed, there's no tension, and it's on the roof of the mouth. The whole time, the lips are closed and relaxed. There's no tension in them. They're all deeply relaxed, and there's this subtle motion of the jaw. It's not a visualization, there's a real motion. Small that it might be, it is a real physical motion. It doesn't actually work unless there's a physical motion of the jaw. You can feel it right down into your pelvis. You're breathing in, you can feel the pelvis and organs opening in the pelvis. As you breathe out, you can feel the pelvis closing and the pelvic floor moving with the breath. The movement of the jaw gives you an access to every part of your body. Notice how easy it becomes to start breathing into your abdomen, breathing into your pelvis. It's as if every cell starts to breathe and the jaw follows along. And the arms and legs, in a very subtle way, the arms and legs start to breathe. The jaw follows, and you kind of forget the jaw because it just becomes so natural. It just becomes part of the breath. And notice in a very subtle way how the whole face has started to breathe through the sinuses, the eyes, the nose, around the ears, and the whole cranium. In a very subtle way, this has started to move with the breath. And notice you can drop back into your brain. In a very subtle way, you start becoming aware of the energies of your own brain. You start being able to feel and see your own brain. And the energies, you might start feeling subtle energies moving up and down your spine. This very simple breathing will start moving you into a new reality, for a new time, for a new era, where you can heal and be with every part of your system. You start being able to travel internally through your anatomy and through your energies. And you start being able to channel. You start being able to feel your higher self, your beneficial energies coming to you and being part of you and integrated into the holographic breathing. This breathing gives you the ability to channel and also to connect to the earth. It's everything. It's breathing. And when you start breathing in this way, everything is reflections. Everything is holographic. Everything is reflections of everything else, and everything joins in the breath, becomes one energy. You are individual as yourself, but you're reflected in everything else. Gently breathing with the holographic breathing, relaxing your spine, relaxing your head, letting the energy stream through you. Breathe softly and gently. Relax your throat, relax your head, relax everything. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourselves to come back. And when you feel ready, allowing your eyes to open.
Mm. Well, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Yeah. I encourage anybody who has questions for Martin about the technique to please put them in the chat. I am seeing it there. So, would you like me to start by describing a little of what I felt?
I would.
Yeah. I think it's so, it's interesting because it's deceptively simple in a way, right? I sort of, part of me, the analytical part of me is like, wow, could something so simple as holding, of that technique, open up, the channels, and open up your body so, in such a profound way. And yet my experience was almost feel like the visual I have is like a flower, and I sort of see the petals opening with the jaw opening and then kind of closing with the jaw closing. That's what I experience. And it feels like it turns the whole system of my body into a flower opening and closing on each breath.
It really,
tangible way.
I missed that last bit, sorry.
Just in a very tangible felt sensation of being a flower.
You're a rose. You've become a flower. Holly the flower, flower power Holly. It's true. It tangibly connects the breath to your body. Physically, normally we're just breathing in and out the nose and there's no physical aspect to that. There's just, well, there's a diaphragm moving, but it's not physically connecting through the whole body. And the nose and the sinuses are a bit like the heart and lungs. But as soon as the jaw is activated, that's the physicality, that's the movement. And as you think of, let me show it now, just so that people can see what I'm describing. This is the inside of the face. The jaw is a lot to do with the pelvis.
That's a little
Uh,
creepy looking, I have to say.
Pardon?
It looks a little creepy, but go. It
I'm,
like looks like
I'm
a
used
weird Halloween mask.
I'm used to these from years of cranial work. And the tongue and the mouth is a bit like the abdomen. The roof of the mouth has the same dome as the diaphragm, so that's like the diaphragm. The maxillary sinuses, these big sinuses, they're like two lungs. The nose is like the heart on top of the diaphragm, so this is like the whole chest area. The eyes have the energy of the brain and head, and so does the ethmoid. This is like more the sides of the brain, the two halves of the brain. The ethmoid is more like the brain stem in the middle. So holographically, it's a picture of the body. So in the face, the breath is just coming in and out through the nose, and there's no physical thing. And when I was, before the holographic breathing, I was trying to get it to move because I wanted to do my own orthodontics. And then as that released into the jaw, there's a physical motion with the breath within the face as a hologram reflecting through the body.
Yeah.
And as soon as that was connected to the breath, there was a physical actuality of the breath, as well as the breath just coming in and out within the face. And then that just spread through the whole body, every cell opening and closing. And it's very much like you said, it is connecting to everything. I became plants, I became flowers. I went through every species of animal and dinosaur and reptiles and birds and whales and dolphins. For the first year, I spent my time just traveling and becoming all these different beings as the holographic being. It's holographic, it relates to everything else, and history-wise and off planet. I was visiting alien races and ET races because it just seemed to be not just connecting the breath within me, it's connecting the breath to all existence in a way for me. Now other people may not experience, I'm not expecting everyone to have the same experiences I do, but quite a few people do. But that is how I experienced it.
And one thing that I additionally experienced was when you were talking about the pelvis and opening up the pelvis, for example, like I could really feel more into my pelvis and that opening through the breath than through other types of breathing I've tried. So, that was very tangible for me, irrespective of, just sort of the other aspects of it, that opening was very real. I see there's a question, so let me ask.
I'll answer that first because it's important.
Yeah, please do.
It's also quite often to get down into the abdomen or the pelvis. There are techniques to it, but it's normally quite hard work. It's kind of you really got to try. But with holographic breathing, you just have to do it softer. The softer you do it, the deeper it goes. And we work with all the organs in the pelvis. We work with the ovaries and testes, the uterus and prostate, the pelvic floor, the different bones of the pelvis, the anus, the sacrum. We work with that whole area, and we work with womb life, and as if we're giving birth ourselves. There's all sorts of stuff there, karmic stuff, and it's easy to access. I'll teach people how to do that in the second part. So yeah, absolutely. And once you get into the pelvis, then you've got the access to the sexual energies, and they don't just stay as sexual energies. You get like, it's, people enjoy holographic breathing. They describe it like being on drugs a bit, or a bit like making love. And the making love aspect, or the nice feeling, often is the sexual energies releasing, and as they rise up the body, they start healing and they become love and expressions of love and nice feelings, and they work through the neck, they cleanse through the brain, they connect to the higher self. So you, as soon as you access those energies, you've got a powerhouse for healing yourself. You can't just connect to the divine. It's just a waste of time. You need that roots and connect through the pelvis to get that kundalini rising, and then the higher self comes down and governs the kundalini. So all the time we access up into the higher self, but we access down into the sexual energies for that to rise up and heal through us.
Sounds like a prescription for world peace if everybody would do this technique.
Yeah, if everyone did this, no one would work for a start. It'll be over. You could say goodbye to capitalism, or everyone would be lying around. And it really does. I had a kundalini awakening. I don't want to describe it. It's quite terrifying, and it never stopped. About 12 years ago, it just carried on. But when that majorly happens and doesn't stop, it's a bit like being on LSD forever, really, after that point. It's very, very potent. Now, I'm not saying that is going to happen to other people. I think that was in line for me, whatever, and it actually happened more around I was doing holographic breathing, but it was with healing as well. Something went off there, and yeah, so there's a lot of potential in holographic breathing, and it is new. You know, I was expecting other people to say, you know, we've already done this, but nobody did. And what the beings said, you know, I said, it's so simple. Why isn't anyone doing this? It is ridiculously simple. They said, well, it's because of evolution. It's part of our evolution. Now is the time for people to learn this. It just wasn't the right time before.
So do you want to, I don't see any other questions, so I'm sure people would love another experience because you had another one planned. Would you like to take us on a second guided meditation?
Yeah. My last client. So this, I got a white skull because I could paint the colors of the energies on it. And they match the energies of, whoops, his face has just fallen off. We're just going to have to do it in two different halves. It's meant to come apart. It just comes apart much more readily than I would like, this skull. Let me just see if I can put it together. Which way does that go round? No, hang on. That's that side. Hopefully. No, yes, no, no. Sorry about this.
It's okay.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. So that is the face, and it's the colors are the same on the cranium. They match. The back lower cranium's the same as the jaw, and they're the same thing. But I'm going to describe them in the face, and how those are the eyes there, and how it relates to the torso. So the jaw, or the back of the jaw here, is very much to do with the deep, dark earth energies, and to do with the lower pelvis and our sit bones. That gives the deep earth there, and that relates to jaw, and it relates a lot to the liver and pancreas and the heavier type organs. Then as we move forwards in the jaw, you move into a much brighter, redder, hotter energy. And the same thing happens when you move forward from the sit bones. You come into the pubic arch, and you move more into the sexual energies, the ovaries, the testes, the uterus and prostate. And this kind of has a fire energy. And so I'm just going to describe these. When we go through it, you don't have to feel them as I'm describing. You just do them whatever way you want to do them. And it may not feel the same as I'm describing. Whatever your experience is fine, but describing it in this way gives you a way of doing it. Then as we come up into the upper jaw, it's a bit like, that's the fire circuit. We come up a bit higher in the fire circuit, and that relates to hara, which is just below the navel and the small intestines. And that also relates to the underside of the roof of the mouth. And also the heart, the nasal passageways. I'll show it from the back in here. This is the heart, looks like the heart, and is that heart energy. And the bones are actually missing, but this inside edge of the eyes, the lacrimal bones, they're also the higher part of the red energy, and to do with the thymus gland. So we're going to start off in the jaw and in the sit bones, this deep, rich energy. We're going to come into the pubic arch, which is more the fire of the ovaries, testes, uterus, prostate. That the vagina and penis is different energy. It's the blue energy. It's a different circuit, but we will work with that. Like you said, you could feel into your pelvis. We will be doing that. Then, so that relates to the higher red energies just inside the eyes here, the nasal conchas at the sides of the nose, inside the nose are that, and then it comes up into the eyes. Then the next circuit, the yellow energies, it comes up higher into the solar, this mirroring the body, comes up, or forwards in the face, it comes up a bit higher in the body, and it's more the solar plexus, relates to the stomach and spleen. That also relates to the tongue, is the yellow energies. And the back, I don't know if you can see it, the yellow has come off them actually. I've painted it all off, but these bones at the back behind the sinuses, these are the palatine bones, that's part of that yellow circuit, and it comes up into the ethmoid, which is actually part of the cranium. It's also that yellow circuit. And then from behind the face, coming out to the side, you've got those big sinuses that I described. These are like the lungs for the face and relate to our lungs. In the chest, they relate to the lungs. In the abdomen, it relates to the colon. So that is those energies there, the whiter energies. And then that expands out into these blue energies. And as it comes out, it's a higher energy again. It rises from the chest and becomes the collarbone. So the cheekbones here relate to the collarbones there. And what there is globally, in holographic breathing, it automatically starts the face and the head breathing and the neck in a way that it just wasn't doing before. Mm-hmm. And it makes that stronger. This is a gate. As the blue energies open across here, it opens a gate so the energies can come up through the neck and throat and up through the head. And in the face, as it releases here, releases up into the eyes and ethmoid, which are the higher energies, and relates to the cerebrum, cerebellum, brainstem, and the brain and higher energies. So then we move up into the eyes, which are that. And in the body, well, actually, I'll show this. We'll move out from the blue energies here into the shoulder joints. You don't have to, you know, what I'm describing here, you don't think, oh, I've got to remember all of those bits. I'm giving you a picture of what it looks like. So, oh yeah, it's that. Then each one we come to, I'm going to describe it. So, oh, okay, you just follow along. The TMJs are just here, just in front of the ears, which are these bones here. That relates to the shoulder joints and the hip joints, but it is also connects directly into the eyes, it's part of the higher energies, it's part of the brain circuit and the connection to the higher self. And the points for the brain, and in the torso, the points for the brain and that relate to the eyes. If you feel your shoulder blade and you run it back to the corner, it's that top edge of your shoulder blade and that corner there, and that connects directly forwards, and that becomes the higher energies for the torso. Then if you drop down into the lower shoulder blades, it gets much deeper and darker energies, and it becomes the jaw again. And then from that you can drop down into the sit bones, which again is the jaw. So you get the energies rising, and at the same time the energies are rising up the spine, and then as it goes down the back, the energies are dropping down, and then you get it all breathing together. Then all of those energies are interacting, and that starts igniting the kundalini in the spine. And when they're all just breathing in time, that opens up the crown chakra and up into the higher self, which kind of becomes the seventh energy. That's six energies. And then the higher energies are like the seventh. And then that all starts coming down and connecting. And there's the mirror of all of those different energies also in the higher self and the higher realms, and also reflected in the cycles of the earth. So it's a holographic type energy system. So I'm not sure if that made any sense at all.
It did for me. And I mean, to sort of state the obvious, I like being simple and stating the obvious. What's incredible is just the way you're showing that these energies in the face and the head and the skull are connected and have direct correlates with throughout the entire body. That's your point. And
the face is reflected in the cranium. They're both reflected in the spine. We're relating it to the torso this time, how it's reflected in the torso. It's reflected, same matrix in the arms and legs, same matrix in the hands and feet. And I haven't discovered it all yet, but the same matrix in the brain and nervous system as well. And all of the organs, 4 organs or 5, sometimes 5 organs fit to each circuit. Each vertebrae, 4 vertebrae relate to each circuit, and each vertebrae relate to a specific organ. It gives you a whole way of healing yourself.
yeah, and of course, I mean, Chinese practitioners, right, have all the meridians, all the connections there. I'm assuming these are all the same connections. There's nothing. And that's,
I don't know. I'm not an acupuncturist, so I don't really know. I do know, describing it to a very well-known Ayurvedic teacher and herbalist and Ayurvedic acupuncturist, are describing the energies of the organs, what they related to and how they related to the spine. And he just said to me, "You're doing Ayurvedic medicine." So it connects with Ayurvedic acupuncture and medicine, I know that, but as far as acupuncture and the different meridians, I don't know.
great. Well, so I want to be aware of time, and there you do have another experience.
Let's move on. Let's do this because it's really getting on. Let's just do this last meditation, so rather than people speaking about it, they can have their own experience of it. It's much better.
Yeah.
All right, so just closing your eyes. Gently breathing with the holographic breathing. The lips are relaxed and closed. The tongue is relaxed and on the roof of the mouth. On the in-breath, the jaw is gently opening, and on the out-breath, the jaw is gently closing. Become aware of the back of the jaw. Notice, as well as an up-down motion, there's a sideways motion. On the in-breath, opening out to the sides. On the out-breath, closing back towards the middle. Breathing in, it's opening. Breathing out, it's closing. This has a nice, if you feel the corners of the jaw, where it goes around the corner at the back, allow this to connect to your sit bones. You feel this connection to your sit bones, and from the back of the jaw you feel a connection to the back of your body, to the back of the head, the shoulder blades, the back of the pelvis, and the sit bones. Gently breathing with that deeper, richer energy of the back of the jaw and of the sit bones. and letting the self move forwards in the jaw to more around the chin, the sides of the chin. And notice you may become more aware of your pubic arch, and you may feel warmer. You may start feeling a flush of energy as it drops into your pubic arch. You may start feeling your uterus, or for the men, the prostate, ovaries or testes, that warm red energy. You drop back a little bit again into the sit bones, notice darker, richer, and move back in the jaw. It's darker and richer. And then as you move forwards in the jaw, as you come around the chin, notice you start feeling a redder energy, and it connects to your genitalia. Or however you're experiencing it is fine. You can move up the chin, up into the upper jaw, the front of the upper jaw, and it moves up from the genitalia more into the hara and the small intestines. And the roof of the mouth is also the small intestines. And it has a warm red energy. And as you rise up through the roof of the mouth into the nasal passageways, you might start feeling your heart. Notice as you rise up through the roof of the mouth, if you also feel your heart becoming warmer, connecting to your heart. And it can get a little bit overwhelming. If it feels that needs grounding, you just connect to your pubic arch, your ovaries and testes, and it grounds that heat in the heart. And the other way is to rise up from the sides of the nasal passageways up into the inside face of the eyes. This, you may feel a flickering in the eyes as it rises up, and the energy moves up from the heart into the thyroid, the thymus gland just above the heart, and it releases more into the higher self for the fire circuit. The insides of the eyes relate to the higher self, so it releases into the higher self from the thymus gland and the eyes, and it releases into the earth from the ovaries, testes, prostate and uterus. So that is the fire circuit, and has a very warm energy, and you may feel a pulsing in your heart, but however you experience it, that is correct for you. Then drifting forwards into your nose. Notice that fire goes. The warmth in your heart goes as you come forwards into the nose. The energies change. This is more to do with the solar plexus, the stomach, that type of energy. And in the base of the nose, it's quite grounded. And up at the top of the nose, you might feel it flashing and going back into the eyes and the ethmoid between the eyes. This is the yellow energies, and in the mouth relates to the tongue. Notice the tongue helps to ground that energy. See how the tongue relates to the nose, it relates to the stomach and the diaphragm. And then if you go to the very back of the mouth and the back of the tongue, you've got the palatine bones which rise up the back of the sinuses And connect to the eyes, and you may feel a flashing in the back of the eyes. So this is a bit like going on a journey, and you have to let go of the previous organs and energies or feelings and move on to the next. So that is the next circuit. That's the yellow circuit, very delicate yellow energy, or however you perceive it. And this connects around in a circle. It connects through the ethmoid and makes a vertical circle in the face, and it makes a circle around the center line of the whole body. Gently breathing with those energies of the yellow circuit, the nose, the tongue, the stomach, the spleen, throat, and the tongue. And breathe. And then from the yellows you move out to the sides, and you move into those big sinuses under the cheekbones, and rising up from the roof of the mouth at the sides, you have these two large sinuses. Notice how these connect you to your lungs. As you start breathing with those sinuses, you start being able to notice how it connects you into your lungs, and you start being able to breathe more deeply into your lungs. Relax the back of the neck, relax the back of the head, and as it's releasing in the face, the torso, it's also releasing through the spine, through the cranium, through the brain, through the energies. You're in the lung circuit, and the lower sinuses and the teeth on the sides and the sides of the mouth, this will drop you down into the colon, which are like the lungs for the abdomen. So you get this sideways, the yellows are a vertical energy. The sinuses are an opening, the lungs opening out to either sides, and the colon opening out and coming back in. It's expansive breath. So that grounds down into the colon in the sides of the mouth. So we're going very quickly like with this. We're just going in a very slight way, going through it fairly quickly, but it's fine just to go at your own pace. And if you feel the colon, as that comes down, it joins into the rectum, down into your pelvis. And this is also part of the sexual energies and Kundalini, and part of this same circuit. And then the sphincter muscle in the rectum, the energies release up the spine and through the brain stem. So you've got the sideways motion of the lungs and colon, and they connect to the vertical energies through the rectum, through the spine, into the brain stem, and back out into the sinuses in the face. So this is the lung circuit, the white energies. And then from that you rise out into the zygomatic arch, into the cheekbones, the blues, the blue energies. This relates to the collarbones. So the cheekbones breathing, the collarbones breathing, this relates a lot with the kidneys, the adrenals, the bladder, the vagina, and penis. And as the collarbones breathe, notice how this opens a gate and the energies release up through the neck, through the face, through the head. And as that happens, as it opens that gate, you may feel that suddenly your sexual energies can release from the vagina, the penis, also the ovaries and testes, uterus, prostate. You may feel a release as they're not captive anymore. They can release up through that gate, through the face and head. And as the collarbones release and breathe, the cheekbones release and breathe, and that releases through the eyes. Notice you may get a flickering in your eyes as it releases up through your eyes. So this was like a lid before, and when you open the lid, all of those energies can start flowing up and down through the neck and head, and the potency from the pelvis can do the same. Just letting them breathe, feeling the quality. And you may feel a nervousness to this, or adrenaline, excuse me, as the adrenals start to release and as the kidneys start to release. And slowly working out to the sides of the collarbones, and you come into the shoulder joints. This relates to the TMJs and to the ears. And notice there's a much brighter, whiter energy in the TMJs. Notice as they open and close, that relates directly into the eyes and starts opening the energies in the eyes. And you get the hip joints, the energy rising from the pelvis, in the hip joints in the pelvis, up to the shoulder joints releasing up to the TMJs releasing into the eyes and higher self. And this is a bright, white energy and travels through your spine at the same time as the Kundalini, breathing gently with the holographic breathing. Holographic breathing activates these circuits, it activates the Kundalini, it activates the connection between the earth and the higher realms. Breathing with the shoulder joints and TMJs, and then let it roll back, the shoulder joints and TMJs, and then start letting it roll back around the top of the shoulder blades until it comes to that inner corner. This is more the higher self, the brain and the eyes. And notice how that upper part of the shoulder blades, it's like having a pair of eyes in your back, and relates directly forwards to the eyes, releases the cervical spine, the spine in the neck, and connects to the brain from below. The eyes connect to the brain from in front. You're breathing with the eyes. It's moved up into the eyes now, and the top and inside corner of the shoulder blades. So this is more the higher energies. Notice how ethereal it feels, how it connects to your brain, and how it's a much softer energy. Gently breathing, very gently, with the holographic breathing. Let your eyes energize. Let that connection between the top of your shoulder blades and your eyes, let that connect. The collarbones open the gate at the front. The shoulder blades open the gate at the back. And you actually get the shape of an eye facing up to the heavens, where the neck becomes the iris, and where it goes out to the sides is the sides of the eyes. the shoulder blade, that middle part of the shoulder, top end of the shoulder blade relating to the eyes. And then if you drop down lower in the shoulder blade to the middle of the shoulder blade and lower, notice how everything gets darker and more grounded, and this relates to the lower jaw, the back of the jaw, your back in the lower jaw. Notice how the lower shoulder blades are relating to the jaw, much more grounded, and from there you can be in them and feel down into the sit bones relating to the jaw. And then you can feel the whole face, all of the bones breathing, including the eyes and the ears and also the shoulder blades, and the different energies flowing in and out of each other, so the whole face is breathing, the whole cranium is breathing, the energies are activated in the spine, every vertebrae is breathing, all the bones of the pelvis are breathing. Pelvis is more to do with the earth, and the earth energies are rising up through the spine. The head is more to do with the higher self, and the energies from the higher self are flowing down through us. Everything are breathing, these different energies through the whole face and cranium and body are flowing in and out of each other. The spine is healing. You can feel all the vertebrae in the spine heating and melting and aligning as the energies travel through the spine. Gently breathing with the holographic breathing. And the higher energies coming down from the higher self, the subtle realms, the beneficial channels and energies, and healing on a different level, higher, another level higher, reflection higher, and connecting into the holographic nature of holographic breathing, moving through those bones and organs, connecting through the whole body, through the pelvis. And the earth circles and those energies reflected in the earth are rising up through us. And we are no more. We are part of everything. We are individual. But this mind, ego, is no more as those energies reflect through each other. We become part of the bigger picture, letting your mind go, letting your spine melt, letting the energies stream through you, and breathe. and letting that slow down. Gently breathing with the holographic breathing. Sending a thank you to the earth. A thank you to the higher self. And a thank you to the beneficial energies. And letting the energies go off for love and healing to the earth, for love and healing to the higher self and beneficial energies. And letting the energies come to yourself for love and healing, letting yourself be loved and healed. And letting the energies go out to all sentient beings for love and healing. And you are a sentient being, allowing yourself to be loved and healed. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourself to come back. Okay, so how are you doing there? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. You might just be splayed out.
A little splayed out, but yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In the webinars, I kind of got paid for webinars where we go into that in more depth, where we work with the spine in different ways, the vertebrae, how they relate to the organs. And I also run free ones. I've got one in Sunday after this, where we're taking a journey to the center of the earth and into creation. So that's all available if people want at holographicbreathing.com. And I'm really happy to come and do more with you. You can do all of the free webinars with you as well if you so wish. So
well, thank you. I would love to have you back on to do more of these as you feel called to do that. And yes, to join in some of the offerings that you have, which is wonderful. So yeah, so people, if you would like to do more of this work with Martin, he sounds like there's a few a month to participate in webinars with some free and some paid offerings, which is wonderful. And I see some people commenting in. Shanti just said it was really beautiful, really enjoyed the whole presentation. So we have some nice comments here coming in. So thank you. I really, really appreciate being here and sharing this for everybody that's out there watching. It's a wonderful community to have all people here and those who will watch after. So thank you for that. And yeah, I think we'll close up just because being conscious of time.
okay.